After years of war and lawlessness, Afghanistan today produces 90% of the world's opium, according to Interpol. Opium is the raw material from which heroin is made. Much of the drug finds its way into Russia, so the Russian authorities were very happy to join in the raid in the eastern province of Nangarhar that officials say destroyed 4 heroin laboratories and a ton of refined heroin worth $56 million.
90% of heroin consumed in Russia is trafficked from Afghanistan to Moscow. So Russia has a lot of concerns, and that's why Russia is very much enthusiastic to helping the NATO allies in eradication of opium cultivation and drugs trafficking in the country.
It was a big success. But then Afghan President Hamid Karzai quickly issued a statement denouncing the presence of 2 Russian agents in the raid as, quote, a blatant violation of Afghanistan's sovereignty. Afghan officials say they were not informed the Russians would take part.
And so we extend the same request to the Russian Federation to coordinate their operations with the government of Afghanistan and to inform us ahead of time so that our such joint operations are effective and at the same time do not encroach on Afghanistan's sovereignty.
Analysts say President Karzai's statement should be taken at face value, but was also meant to reassure his domestic audience that there is no question of inviting Russian troops back into the country 2 decades after the end of Russia's brutal occupation. Still, these analysts say, Mr. Karzai has reasons to welcome Russian help against heroin production in his country.
Drugs trafficking and drugs cultivation is one of the main sources of finance for the Taliban. So we see a very close connection between opium cultivation and also between terrorism and insurgency in the country.
Afghanistan says it welcomes the involvement of Russian anti-drug agents as long as that involvement is fully coordinated between the 2 governments. Observers say a bigger challenge is finding a way to stop opium cultivation without driving farmers into the arms of the Taliban. Burton Bolag, KSA2, Washington.